About 2 o'clock in the morning, I went and drove around to visit some of our officers. I stopped on the 16th Avenue Bridge over the Bow River, and I got out of the truck and listened to the roar of that river. That river had grown so huge, but the noise that water was making, I mean, it was, you knew. You listened and said, this is not the river that I grew up around. And that's when it really hit home. This was more than just an exercise of emergency management. This was about an event that was impacting a whole lot of people, and there's going to be a lot of victims. We've never seen an evacuation of that magnitude. 75 to 100,000 people suddenly having to leave their homes. That's bigger than most cities in Canada. And it had to be done in hours. To see the city of Calgary, the corporation, pull together like it did was nothing short of amazing. Was it a horrible thing? Absolutely. Were families and folks impacted in horrible ways? You bet, they lost everything. Our hearts go out to them. A lot of people didn't realize this, that 100,000 people basically had to be evacuated, but that's only 8% of the city. In 92% of the city, it's business as usual. So we had to manage all that and make sure that the rest of the city was protected from certain people who we knew were going to try to take advantage of what they thought would be a decrease in police resources in those areas, while making sure that we deployed sufficient resources to the impacted areas. So it was a challenge that was met by the members of the police service. Countless hours put in, way more hours than what our members were paid for, because they were putting in voluntary overtime. This was the event whereby Calgary defined itself not only to the rest of Canada, but to the world. And I think what surprised so many people was the way this city pulled together. Regular citizens said, I'm not going to work for the next week, I'm going to go help those people that were impacted. Companies who had the generators, that had the pumps, that had the expertise, said, you know what, we're going to go down to those communities and we're going to help them recover. All the folks rolled up their sleeves and said, okay, this is a disaster, so let's provide the services right now that really matter, because this was the test. And you know what, it's kind of neat to be part of an organization that passed the test. I'm proud of the members of the police service, but I'm equally proud to be a part of a corporation that was able to respond in such an effective way. Disasters can occur any place, anytime. Everyone has to be ready. In this case, it was a flood. But next time, it may be something else that hits your community. It may be a power blackout for the entire city that lasts for a week when it's -40 in the middle of January. People have to ask themselves, am I prepared? But don't put yourself in a position where you're one of those people that says, oh my gosh, you know, we're in the middle of a disaster. You run down to the corner store and there's 1,000 people in front of you and it's stripped bare. It's great to know that the emergency services and the departments in the city can respond, but individually we have to be on top of our game. Individually we have to make sure that our families are looked after. In the words of an article that was in Maclean's magazine, major disaster like that and the services in Calgary made it look like child's play, the way they handled it. This is a city now that has the confidence to know that whatever next week, next month, next year brings, good or bad, we can handle it.